Hey everyone. In Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 15, it speaks of a prophet that will be raised up from among his brothers. Who exactly is being spoken of here? All it takes is a little bit of study in the Torah to find out exactly who is being referred to. Shalom everybody, and welcome to Beit Tefillah. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse 15, is another verse that Messianics will always use, claiming it's prophesying about a coming New Testament Messiah. Sadly, but as usual, they pull it out of context without reading what comes before it and what comes after it, so they end up having no idea what they're talking about. This verse in Torah is simply referring to the one who would come after Moses to lead the people, the one who would succeed Moses. This is talking about YHWH. But for the sake of this video and to keep it simple for everyone who is just learning and coming into this, I'm going to use the name Joshua, as most people are familiar with that name. But this is so easy to see, so let's go ahead and read that verse and we'll go from there. Deuteronomy 18:15. Yehovah your Elohim will raise up for you a prophet like me from your midst, from your brothers. Listen to him. All right, let's notice a couple things in this verse. First of all, this was Moses speaking. Okay? And notice that Moses said, a prophet like me. Because this is really critical. Because for all the Messianics, you have to ask yourself, was Moses some kind of Messiah? In the way people think of when they hear the word Messiah today, like the Messiah in the New Testament? Because they all claim this is the Messiah when Moses said a prophet like me. So was Moses a Messiah? No, of course not. Moses was just a man chosen by Elohim to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt and into the Promised Land. So when Moses said a prophet like me, he was simply talking about another man who would lead the people after him. Okay? One thing we need to make clear is that raise up part in that verse isn't talking about raising up a child to an adult. That's not the raising up part. The raising up in there comes from the Hebrew word kum, which means confirm, decree, lift up, establish, or succeed. So a better way to say Deuteronomy 18:15 would be, Yehovah your Elohim will establish for you a prophet like me from your midst, from your brothers. Listen to him. Let's also acknowledge something else. 6 verses before this, Elohim said in Deuteronomy 18:9, when you come into the land, the question, did Moses go into the land? Answer, no. He died before that. He was allowed to see the land, but he wasn't allowed to enter it. Elohim said, you're going to die, you're going to come up on the mountain, you're going to see the land and not go in, and up there you're going to die. Paraphrasing. That's what happened, right? But who was set apart to lead the people into the land? Joshua. To see Joshua being established for this, let's just start in the book of Numbers and move forward through the Torah, hitting some key verses, and we're easily going to see how Joshua was set apart in the one who was spoken of in Deuteronomy 18:15. Numbers 27:18-23. And Yehovah said to Moses, take Joshua son of Nun with you, a man in whom is the Spirit, and you shall lay your hand on him and shall set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation, and give him charge before their eyes, and shall put some of your esteem upon him, so that all the congregation of the children of Israel obey him. And he is to stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall inquire before Yehovah for him, by the right ruling of the Urim. At his word they go out, and at his word they come in, both he and all the children of Israel with him, all the congregation. And Moses did as Yehovah commanded him, and took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, laid his hands on him, and commissioned him, as Yehovah commanded by the hand of Moses. So not only does it say that Moses commissioned him, Elohim told Moses to put some of his esteem upon Joshua, because the people greatly esteem Moses. So he is doing this in front of all the people, in front of all of their eyes, the whole congregation, the children of Israel, to set Joshua apart. So this would leave no doubt in anyone's eyes who was going to continue to lead the children of Israel. They're like, oh yeah, that's a no-brainer. It went from Moses to Joshua. Okay? We have a couple verses in Deuteronomy that confirm this as well, starting with an earlier one in Deuteronomy 3:28, where Elohim says, "But charge Joshua and strengthen him and make him brave, for he shall pass over before this people and causes them to inherit the land which you see." Deuteronomy 31:7-8. "And Moses called Joshua and said to him before the eyes of all Yisrael, Be strong and courageous, for you are going with this people to the land which Jehovah has sworn to their fathers to give them, and you are to let them inherit it. And it is Jehovah who is going before you. He himself is with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be discouraged." Now this was said in front of all the eyes of Yisrael. They all heard this. Let's hear a couple verses where Elohim clearly established Joshua for this. Deuteronomy 31:14. "And Jehovah said to Moses, See, the days have drawn near for you to die. Call Joshua and present yourselves in the tent of meeting, so that I command him." Deuteronomy 31:23. "And he commanded Joshua son of Nun, and said, Be strong and courageous, for you are to bring the children of Israel into the land which I swore to them, and I myself am with you." And right after the death of Moses, we hear in Deuteronomy 34:8-9, "And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the desert plains of Moab for 30 days. And then the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were completed. And Joshua son of Nun was filled with the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands on him. And the children of Israel listened to him, and did as Jehovah had commanded Moses." Let's hear the verse in question one more time. Deuteronomy 18:15. "Jehovah your Elohim will establish for you a prophet like me from your midst, from your brothers. Listen to him." Elohim said to Joshua in Joshua 1, verse 5, "As I was with Moses, so I am with you." And especially this next verse, Joshua 3:7. "And Jehovah said to Joshua, This day I begin to make you great before the eyes of all Yisrael, so that they know that I am with you as I was with Moses." One last verse for today. Joshua 4:14. "On that day Jehovah made Joshua great before the eyes of all Yisrael, and they feared him as they had feared Moses all the days of his life." To anyone with even the slightest bit of scriptural understanding, it should be perfectly clear who is being referenced in Deuteronomy 18:15. It was Joshua. It wasn't any kind of New Testament Messiah. Not at all. Well, I hope this video blessed you. Please sub to our channel if you haven't done so yet. A shout out and a shalom to everybody who is Yisrael and scattered worldwide in the dispersion. Everybody be blessed and have a wonderful day.